Nathan Stanford Sr. Welcome back. Now we're working on episode 4 of the CF form for ColdFusion and HTMX. And I'm thinking we're close enough. We should be getting at least into a little bit of HTMX today. So what I want to do first is we're going to go pull up our VS Code, go to application.cfc, and we're going to add the session storage so that we can, when people log in, we can have a session for them. Without that, this would not work. You wouldn't be able to log in. The other thing I've got here that I put is user, so that we can store details about the user. We can check to see if the session exists, and if it does, we can see if that user has any info, and right now it doesn't. Now, one of the things we're going to do is we have this login, and we started moving stuff around a little. We've got the register here. I moved it there, but we still have some stuff we want to do because this is not totally the answer yet neither. So we'll go through one thing at a time. So if we go into the login, we have the login ID. So let's see here. I think I'm going to take this out of here, even though I could leave it in there for a few reasons, but I'm going to take it out and come back here. Now, if I have a problem when I do this, then I might move it back. But that's part of coding and how you do things. You try things that you think are going to work, and if they don't, then you have. And I'm going to see if pretty will work for this. And it's not, that's fine. I'll do it myself because I like to have everything the way I want it. So that goes over 1, that goes over 2. Then this here goes over 2. And then we're still inside of a div, so this goes over 2. This only goes over 1. Actually, those go over 2. Whoops. The includes go over 2. This goes over 1. 1. I'm counting too many here. So we've got the outside one. We've got the row. Then we've got this section here. There we go. I knew something was wrong. Whoops, one too many. So now I've got that all laid out. Now the login screen is going to be what's going to be being replaced. So what we'll do is we will come back here. Let's see. And look at the actual login. So what it's going to do, it's going to replace that login screen. One more thing we need. What is it? HTMX. Oh, good grief. I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head. But let's go find it right here. Go to HTMX. We'll just go to one of the examples probably be, well, right there. HX swap is what I'm looking for. So let me just copy that. We'll come back here. But I want it to only replace the inner HTML, not the outer. And let's do that. Okay, so when we go to do the login check, we want it to replace it with whatever is coming back, but we only want to replace the inner. And I'll show you what I mean. Let's come here and put a class equals border 1, border white, just so we can kind of see. If we come back here and we go like this, and we come over here and we hit refresh, so you can see the box. Now, the box is too big. Even if the box is gone, I kind of want it to be shrunk in a little bit. I kind of like the rounded edges if I was going to have the line. So let's just, first of all, I don't know, let's, for grids, let's do rounded. And let's change this to secondary. But what we want is we want a padding, let's say of 2, and a margin of 1, and that's probably enough. I don't know, let's go look at it, because there's something else that's popping in my head making me think I need to add something to the bottom of this. Yeah, see how close it is? In fact, I probably could get away. Let's come back here. Let's get it away without the margin. So we've got the padding of 2. Margin is outside, so let's say margin bottom. Let's start with 1 and just see how it looks. Okay, hit refresh. Okay, now it's not the right color, but that's okay. I would like to shrink it in a little bit. So let's go ahead and add a padding of 3, and let's get rid of the, we'll leave the margin down there, but we'll get rid of the border now. And when we go back and we hit refresh, now the login is right there. So if I hit login check comes back, it dumps what's in the login check. If we go back, whoops, if we go back here, we look inside a login check, we are dumping sessions. Well, what we should be dumping is form, because what's going to be coming back is form, and this is only replacing the inner. So we want to look at the register. We got username, we got email, it's not, don't need address, password. You know what, I think I might end up leaving it just like this, but let's just see how it looks. So if I go back to login, when you click on register, I want it to go to the register screen and replace the login screen, but I need it also to be inner HTMX for swapping just the inner portion. Let's see if that actually works. Register, and it does. So now it's saying fill out your login. Now mine's popping in because I've got autofill. I should probably turn that off or something, but I'm not going to. And I would kind of like that register to be in the center. So why don't I just copy this, come down here, wait a minute, that's the login button, and put it between the login, no, the register button when you go to register, not login. So what we want to do is we'll copy that, tab that over, and text center, I don't know if I even need that MB3, but we'll leave it there for now. Refresh, click on register. Yeah, the MB3 is way too much. So let's get rid of that, at least in here. And we'll go back, hit refresh, hit register. And so now I can put in my username is going to be jsample@test.com. Now, whoops, that's not my username. Okay, we will call my username I want to be is James Bond 007. One of my other videos for fun to see if anybody would say anything. In fact, let's get rid of the sample. Let's actually say J Bond. And then we want a password. I'm sorry. Right now I'm just going to create password. And I probably should make, I'll just go ahead and do this. Hit register. So now, behind the scenes, it would have passed in. Here, hold on. Never. I'll just turn it on never. Maybe it'll quit now. So what I'm wanting, test.com and password, and then you would click login and it would check the login, and you would be logged in if you typed it right. This login check would go away. Instead it would be your name. So what we're doing now is the page has not moved. We've logged in and everything right here. In fact, if I click back, you can see that when if I click login and I click back, you leave the page. Why? Because you never really left here. Register, log in, click back. Oh, that's interesting. So when we're hitting login, okay, I got to fix that. That's not what we want. So where is it that it's doing that? Here on the register, probably. Yeah, because we don't have anything set up for the register. So let's go look at the login, because we're doing the same kind of thing. Let's just grab this, copy this, and go to register. And we will replace the form with that. And I think I will do that. No, I still like it all right beside each other. This div needs to go down a line. Looks like I copied an extra one of those. So now let's go back. We will hit refresh. Okay, we're on the page. Hit refresh. So we're in the page we should be. Register. I register. And now if I click back, it leaves the page. If I hit login, if I hit register, I forgot when I hit change the register one that I now need to register, but instead of check, I'm going to call it submit submit user. So when you see the page, you know it's submitting the user. So let's go ahead and say here in partials. Now see, this is why it's one of those things you have to decide which things are going to be pages, which things are going to be partials, which things might be views. Like some of these might be considered views because when they get to be showing enough. But for now, I'm going to keep putting them in partials for now because this is all in that home page in that little section. So here we got submit user. We go inside of submit user. Let's see, we go inside of login check. I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste that here. And I'm going to change this to submit user. Now, when you're writing code and you want to remember to make changes in the future, because you know we're not going to just do a login check here. So you want to learn to do this. You put a to-do, and then you say, check the login, or actually let's just say validate the login. Now one thing is if I do this, it will work. There is an extension you can go look for called to-dos. If I hit this, it can't find anything. Why? Because I have a plugin where I have to do this to make it a to-do. So now you can see I have a to-do. It's on that page. And what do I need to do? I need to validate the login. So one more thing I can do is I can come down here, paste that, and I can say remove, remove, dump. And I'm even going to change this test code because sometimes it may be more than just removing. In fact, because I did that, now I can just copy this, go back here, go to the submit user, and we'll change this to submit user. So here we're insert the user into the database. Now there's questions, okay? More questions start coming up. What if they pick a username that already exists? So in here in register, we want to make a change right here. And I'm going to do like that. I'm going to go do class like that. And I'm going to do name like that. And then we're going to do hx.dash get. So you've got different kinds of hx you can use. This is going to be sending stuff like in a URL. So I want to do, I'm going to put them in partials. This is probably not the best solution, but it's going to be what I'm going to do. And maybe one day I'll get a better solution. So let's see here. We're trying to check for a username. So let's see. Check username. Okay, I'm trying to see username username. Let's see. How can I do this that makes a good word? Username exists. So now I've got the good username and I'm using underscore. So I come back here and I change this to exists, spell it correctly. And then I come over here and I say user exists. So what I do here, to do, I want to check if the user name exists, and then I want to pass either an error back or nothing back. So if there's an error, send back an error. So now I've got the to-dos. This is kind of like your way of writing yourself a list of to-dos. So now I can come here and I can see I have to-dos under this, and I have to-dos under this, and I have to-dos under that. So I've got several to-dos. This is things you want to try to learn. So right now, when we get to checking to see if it exists, we need to go back to the register page, and we need to finish this. So we want to target just a little note underneath the input. So what I'm going to do, and there's probably other ways to do this, div, hold on. Yeah, that's what I want. And then I'm going to, let's see here, email. I'm not going to worry about email. This is a form. If you get far enough along that it's trying to insert it, then we will check and make sure your email. But you could do the same thing for here. So it's going to input information in here as far as an error goes. And so what we're targeting is this. So if there's an error, then it's going to come back to that. So if we're going to target that, then we need to come over here and say hx target, and it's ID. It's actually, yeah, it is. It's ID. So we're targeting that ID so that it will submit it to that spot. We're not inside a CF output, so we can just do one hash. And then what do we want to replace? We want to replace the inner HTML because we're only replacing what's inside of this tag here. So I'll put the word test so you can kind of see where it's at. I'll come back here, hit refresh. If I click on register, you can see test where the error is going to be. So let's make a couple changes. Let's say if this is an error, we want to say, we want to make an alert looking error. So instead of me creating one here, I'm going to show you the fastest way for you to go get one, and that is to go to, since we're doing this in Bootstrap, we'll go to Bootstrap, click here, and then we will search for error. And then as you see, we've got this heads up, we've got all these different things. Down here is a great example. Let's see here, I know I can use, let's change it from errors to alerts. That's right, because I think that's the title of them. I thought error would get me there. Okay, see, so right here you've got all of these. And the one we want, because this one is an error, so we want to say, you messed up. So that is going to be danger, I think. Alert, dark, light, and here's warning. Warning is the yellow one. So we're going to copy this, go back to our code, and I'm going to paste this here. So if I paste this here and I move this over, then I could have it be inside of this test, or I could just give that the ID. Let me think. If I do that, what would happen? I'm going to try that because I think that's probably the best choice. So basically, there is no text in here. Oh, I see why. I know why not to do that. Because then it would show the box even if there is nothing in the box. So let's look at the example here. And we don't need this class, but we do need the ID to be moved back to there, because that's the one that we're going to take this error. We're going to generate this error on the register where we're trying. Let's see, here we're checking the username. So here, so if the error exists, we're going to be passing back this error, and I need one more dash. That's the error we're going to pass back. But I'm going to leave the error. I'm going to leave the error in there right now, just so you can see what it would look like. Let's go here. Let's go back here. Hit refresh. Hit register. And we don't have the. We don't have this show debug. I know I could go turn it off, but I like the ability to turn it on the page. It's just something I like. It's not necessary. So I hit register. So there's the warning. I don't like it. I want it to at least have some padding on the top. Let's do that. Let's see here. Register. And I'm going to put that padding here. Margin top 3. So the margin is outside of the div. Padding is inside of the div, or whatever object you're working on. So if I hit refresh and then I click register, it didn't do it. Okay, let me look here and see why. Label. Oh. Okay, fine. Let's do that. I'm a little confused. Margin top 3. Let's try it again. And we'll hit refresh, register. Okay, I see there's also username. Oh, you know what? This shouldn't be an error neither. This should probably be warning, which will be yellow instead. And the reason why is because you just can't use that one. Username already exists. That username already exists. Let's see here. Why would the alert? Oh, class equals margin top -3. Let's get rid of this. And let's go back here, hit refresh, hit register. So now it kind of pops down here, but it still doesn't have the new. Where did I put that? I thought it was right here. Let's go back to register. When you click on this, I'm going. Okay, that's cool, I guess. What it's doing, which will make sense now, if I refresh, click register, it's already saying that name exists, which it shouldn't, because it shouldn't be going to a page to say that. But this is what it's supposed to check and pass that back. Oh, I'm not checking anything, so I'm passing it back automatically. So that is correct. Okay. Makes me feel a little better. My mind was elsewhere. Okay, so we've got that done. Let's see here. What else? Let's go back and look. So right now, if I hit refresh, we can register. We can, I want to see, did that, oh, okay. We can register, we can put in our information, we can hit register. It comes up and it's going to submit the user into the database. So let's do one thing real quick. I think we already know that's already going. Go database. We want to go inside the database. We want to go to our database, and we want to look at all of the members, which there is none. Okay, that's just fine. Now we are able to have that available when we start working on inserting. So the nice thing about HTMX is it takes care of the JavaScript going back and forth. You can use ColdFusion, you can use PHP, you can use Go, you can use ASP.NET, you can use anything as the backend. It's literally using it as a backend. Now it's also using it for the session to keep track. So there's still some things going on, but to me that's still in a sense the backend. So let's actually have, when we submit this registration, I'm not going to have it check the username just yet. I'm going to actually submit it in because we know there's none. Once we get one, then we will try to copy that. In fact, we'll just use this night coder as our username. So we will say that we want to register night coder. And I guess since I like dark mode so much, it's probably good, something I would do. Pick Nathan Stanford, and I'm going to just type password. Why? Because I don't have it hashing. I just wanted this to work. We can add hash to the insert and then add hash to where we check. But right now, I just want to see when I hit submit, I already see a problem. I see Nightcoder, but that's the only one I see, which means the name is left out of those others, or they're not getting past one of the two. So when we're clicking Night Rider and we're hitting submit for the button. It's not passing the password because, yep, exactly what I thought. Name equals email. And then down here we want to say name equals password. I have this happen when I copy from Bootstrap a lot. I don't know why they don't go ahead and put the name in them, because if you're going to copy and use them, I want to be able to have the name already in there. I don't want to have an issue. So let's do that all over again. We're going to hit refresh. We're going to hit register. We're going to say night coder. We're going to get my email address. And I'm going to type password. And I'm going to say register. Now, if you look here, you got night coder, you got your password called password, and you got your email. So what we can do is we can go to where we're doing the register. Here, let's go back here. We're submitting the user, so we click on that. So first thing we do is we're going to insert into the database. So I'm going to get rid of this. We don't need it. So we're going to do CF query name. I don't know what you guys do. I'm just going to say insert because it's inserting into the database. I'm not getting the results back. Don't need any results back. And if I go back and look here, the application data source is already CF form DB. So I don't even need to type the data source. Normally I would do data source equals, and I would do hash hash, and I would have something like request, or in this case, this dot data source. Well, you don't have to do that. So save yourself some more typing, although I just wasted a bunch, but it's to show you what you can do as far as saving typing. If you look at somebody's old code, then you can see that they're doing that. So what we want to do is insert into members. And what we want to do is, I believe it's username, email, password. Values. So we're passing CF query param. That's a very important thing to do, is do CF query params. That will stop somebody from passing in SQL injection code into this particular form, or at least into this insert. This will make sure it's a type of varchar and will protect against some things. So after we do that, if there is no error, so let's go up here. We're going to get rid of the to-do, because this should be doing the insert. And we're going to look at some things. I also got rid of that CF dump, so I can get rid of that to-do. But before I go and actually run this, let's go look at the database again. Okay, let me bring it back over from my other page. Come back here to table, and we look, we have member ID, but that one's auto increment, so we don't have to worry about it. Email, password. Well, I thought we had added user name, but it looks like we haven't. So what we have to do now, I know it's alter, table, add, column, so forth, so on. But if you don't know what you're doing and you're worried about it as a beginner, use Google, talk to a friend. Sometimes don't talk to a friend. Do Google first so you can start getting these things memorized. So SQL, we don't want to drop a column. We want to add a column. And we don't need a default value, so just do search. Go here to W3 Schools and we're going to copy this because we're doing pretty much that. Some minor changes. So what we want to do, not here, come back here to the query. We're going to first, we want to use CF form DB. That's telling to use the schema called CF form DB. That's the database that we're using. And we're going to the table members, I believe. Wasn't that what it was? Table members? No, table member. Sorry, it's right there. Member. Normally, just so you know, I would normally do plural for the tables because it's holding more than one member. It's holding all the members. But since I have it already, I'm going to leave it. So username, I don't want the username to be 255 characters, that's for sure. I could limit it down pretty low, but I also hate when you try to put in your favorite username and you can't do it. So 50 should be enough for most people. And then we will have another column in the database, in the table, in the database. So I'm just going to hit run. I don't get any errors. If I look right here on the data members, you can see that I haven't refreshed yet. Refresh, and then click here, click there. That's interesting. Okay, well, let's do this then. I'm a little confused. Select all from member. And this time I just want to run this query. And there is username. So when I look at the table, is there a refresh up here? You can tell I usually use other tools. That's interesting that I can't see it right here. Let me click on post, click on member. Now it's got username. There's probably a refresh right here. My glasses aren't on, my reading glasses. I'm not seeing it, but it's okay. I'm taking them off. I don't want them on right now. Okay, so let's go back to our query here. Okay, so let's keep going. So we're going to insert into username, email, and password. If all of that works, then I could send back a message success, but instead, you know what? We don't have their, okay, no, I know what I'm thinking I'm going to do. We're going to do CF output. And we are going to do a div in case we want to do special things to it. For right now, I want to output the username that they just put in. And I want to class equals. Let's make it H2. No, let's make it H4. And I'll probably get rid of this welcome. So here goes. Let's go back here. Hit refresh. We're going to register. We're going to do night coder. So we're going to select this, night coder. We'll fix the username already exists later. And put my real email in for now. Actually, you know what? Let's not. Let's put night code. Actually, do night coder at test.com, and we'll just do password for now. Not sure if this is going to work, but we'll find out. Okay, so it acted like it worked. Now let's go to the database. Let's go to data. And is there a refresh up here somewhere? Refresh. Let's just go here and run this query, and it didn't insert. Okay, so I've got several things missing, as you can see, and that's probably part of the problem. We did not insert post count starts default to 0. The join date and time should use, okay, so in MySQL, I thought the current timestamp would automatically go in. And then every time the member does something, you could update this to the next current timestamp. So why did it not? Okay, let's go back here. We can see nothing got inserted. So let's oh yeah, what I would suggest doing at the beginning, when you're in the beginning stages of doing something like this, I would literally copy this. We're going to make changes to it. Go to the database. This is until you have other tools. And we want to test seeing what happens if we put in night coder, comma, and then we want an email address, so we're going to say nightcoder@test.com, and then we need a password, and literally for right now it's just going to be password. We're not trying to be too cute with that. We're going to run it. We're going to get an error. So here it says table of members doesn't exist. Oh, well, there you go. I added the S. So I'm going to just simply come back here, get rid of the S, come back here, hit reload, register, and select all. We want night coder. In fact, I'm going to copy that. nightcoder@test.com, password, and we're going to hit register. Then we're going to go to the database, and we're going to select this. So we only run that. Hit run, and oh, it tried running all of it. Not a problem. If you highlight it and you hit control and then /, that's the one that leans to the right. Well, okay, that doesn't work. Okay, I'm used to you doing that in VS Code and a few other places. So if you do asterisk, /, and then asterisk /, that comments out all of that. So now I can, now I can just hit run. And we can see that we still do not have anything in there yet. But it's probably one of the, not sure. Let's see here. Okay, so what I want to do is add the columns that are missing. So if we go back here, we see join date, post count is defaulting to 0. So join date, post count, last activity. Here, let's write that down on Notepad so I can put it in my code. So join date, post count, last activity. Okay, so now I've got those. I go back to my code and I simply say comma, and I paste these in. I do comma, comma, oops. Tab this over, tab this over, and now what do we want? I'm going to move this date one down no, I'm actually going to have to change, oh, well, that's not even a comma. Comma, and let's get rid of it. I want the post one on the bottom. Join date, last activity date. Okay, so now I just simply come over here, do comma, and we start putting in the timestamp. We pass in now, which is the time and date of right now. Then we get another one, and what we will be doing when we do updates, we will not be updating the join date, just the last activity date. And then it's starting off as 0. We're inserting the member, so we'll just start off as 0. Okay, so we've got that. Let's see if that solves our problem. So when we come back here, we hit refresh, register, night coder at test.com, password, if I spelled it right, and we do that, and now we can come back here once again and see, did we get what we think we did? Let's delete that. This way we can just hit run. We still do not have it inserting. So what do you do when you have a query and it's not working? Well, you do a cf try catch. So we do cf try. Well, that's not the only thing you can do, but this is one example of something you can do. Cf try, and then in here you want to say cf catch, and we will change some of that. So we're going to put that there was some kind of, oh, no. Let's move the query over one. Well, yeah, let's come down here. CF try is over there. CF catch is there. And then when you're doing a CF catch, when you're doing a CF catch, you're trying to catch the different kinds of errors. So if you are not using them, once again, Google it, go to ColdFusion and say CF try catch, and then go to one of the first links. Now you can go look here. I'll open that. You can also look at cfdocs.org. So let's look at both of these. We'll go here first. So here's your CF try. So here you're doing it in script up there, but down here you're doing a try and a catch. So if there's a problem, you're going to say there was a problem. Here is a CF try catch, same kind of thing. And what we want to do with this is we want to catch the error message. So if you come back here and we catch anything, which we're not trying to do this, we already got the CF try, we just want the CF catch. And what we want to do is whatever message comes back, we want to know, so we'll kind of get an idea as to what's happening. Now, if this works like I think it should, it literally should pass the error back to the page. But if it doesn't, we will do something different. So let's come back here and let's hit refresh, register, night coder, test.com, password, hit register. So it did welcome, but it still had that error. Database could not be found. Well, there you go. So that's the problem. Let's copy this. And so what we can do is we can say, okay, let's go to our local host on your machine. This is something you probably should memorize when you're doing localhost. You'll learn 8500. When you first install ColdFusion as the developer, it will be 8500. Then CF IDE, That is a common URL you're going to see. After that, you do /administrator /index.cfm. I've got that one memorized. Right now it shows up all the time, but I've got it memorized. It helps me. And because it's my own machine, I save the password locally because I usually have it shut off. So we go look here and you say, okay, which one we want? We want data, which is also, when you're on this, you'll see it's on the second one down. We come down here and we do not see database we're looking for. So we didn't set up the database. I know I did the to-do list. That's down here, but I kind of forgot that we hadn't set it up. We'll do MySQL, click Add. We've got it running with Laragon, so we don't have to worry. MySQL's already running. I don't want to install it twice. So the local host, oh wait, that's the data source, database. Database is also the same name as the data source. For me, for this, they can be totally different. This one up here can be named anything you want. And this one has got to be what's inside of the server. So localhost, and 3306 is correct. Root, and I don't have a password on my root. Why? Because I'm not using this, and I shut it off. So it should let me just submit, and you can see it says data source updated successfully. Now if you get an error, something saying about a driver, you need to go find the driver and do a search for it. One of the first things, do ColdFusion search to get the driver, go find the driver. There's directions. If you need instructions, it's in my to-do list, I believe. If you can't find it, let me know. So now we have CFForm DB. So now let's go see if we're finally going to get this in the database. Register, Night Coder, which has now been validated. Night, oh, it's going to do my name, Night Coder at test.com. Password, register. Now let's go to the database and let's see what happens. Voila, we finally got it in. Okay, so the thing is when you run into a problem, don't give up. Now, I don't want this welcome over here, and I don't want this welcome here. I just wanted to say it's the CFForm. I mean, obviously we know where we're at. We don't need, in fact, we almost don't really need this because we have CFForm up there. But I want something here to keep these two lines kind of lined up. But welcome, I don't really want that. So the message, welcome. Now, once we get them to actually log in, we're going to do the same kind of thing here. We're going to pass this message to the screen to be able to see the name of the user that's logged in, and maybe below it we will put whatever their main top 2 or 3 categories that they're working in, or their skill list. We'll come up with something. Right now they've got kind of like their own little name. That might be good too, that they can put in what they are. Maybe that would be part of the profile page. So we've now got that working. I'm going to stop because I think it's been long enough. Tomorrow, hopefully I'll get a chance to work on it tomorrow. I may not tomorrow. I may have to be Friday, and kind of depends. I had a crown come off, so tomorrow, part of the day, I've got to go get a crown fixed. So I will not have enough time with work and all of that probably to put out a video. Hopefully Friday and Saturday I'll be able to get at least 1 or 2 more videos out, and we will make this work with the login. So then this section will be all working. And right now if I hit register, it would want me to register again. If I hit login check, you know how it goes. Once I get start to do the register again and Night Coder's already there, I want it to ping and not let you hit submit. And we also need to add that those fields are required. There's a lot of things we need to do. So you have a good day, and hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully you've learned something about HTMX. I'll teach you several more things you can do with HTMX and how you can test your HTMX. This is just one way. We'll learn more other ways where you can actually hit a page, see the HTMX only to see if it's working or not before you go put it behind the scenes. So hopefully this was a good video, and hopefully you liked it. Please subscribe. If you can get others to subscribe, only those that are actually interested in learning coding and programming, because that's what I'm trying to do, is to help. I won't always do ColdFusion, but ColdFusion is what I know the best because that's what I've done the longest. I'll be doing PHP, hopefully someday Vue, React, maybe Angular, depends on how I feel. But Bootstrap, maybe Tailwind CSS, just lots of different things. And who knows, maybe we'll make up a couple games at some point, even on video. Text games, so we can use ColdFusion as the back end. Or maybe at some point we'll come up with some other ideas. If you have any ideas or any questions or things you need to learn to help you at your job or help you at school, if you need to learn, please let me know, and we'll see if we can write code that will help you figure out how to solve that and answer those questions. Thank you.